Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for coming out. Yes, direct action for rights and equality. When we first came up with our name, we knew we needed a name that was strong. We knew we needed a name with significance because we wanted to make an impact and we knew we could. And, you know, we used to say when we first started, because we were going to dare to do the right thing and get rid of the wrong things. And a lot of times over the years, we've accomplished that. We started with 5 people. We were 5 people, 4 women, 1 man, black and white. Some a little younger, some a little older. But we didn't look at each other. We didn't see each other on the outside. We saw each other because of the fight that we all had. As we say in organizing, because of the fire in our belly. We had a commitment. We had a passion. This wasn't just about work. This was all the passion that we had in our hearts to make things better for our families and then also for the community that we lived in. This was truly a people's movement. And we moved. And we shook some things up. And we've been shaking things up since 1986. We've worked on issues from quality and fair education in the schools, transportation issues, housing, police brutality, police accountability. Today we're working on issues around the prison system, trying to make things better on the inside and on the outside. But first, and we're also working around housing issues. Within the last 2 years, DARE has gotten significant legislation passed with the help of our legislators and elected officials, but mainly because of the people, because they can't do their job if we're not doing ours. And our job is to organize. Our job is to mobilize and bring people together. Our job is to bring voices together. Our job is to get loud sometime. You know, one of the statements when people were talking about, you know, the events of last week and the protest, Dr. King said, riots are the voices of the unheard. And it's a shame sometimes what we have to do to get our voices heard, but also by any means necessary, especially when we're fighting for our children, by any means necessary. Because racial profiling goes deep. Racial profiling, yes, the definition is judging somebody by the color of their skin, by their ethnicity, their religion, way they dress, etc. But it goes deeper than that, especially when we see the violence that it brings to our children. Especially when we see the violence and the destruction that it brings to families in our community. No one should ever have to worry about sending, no mother, no father should ever have to worry about sending their child to school and wondering what's going to happen to them on their way by people who are supposed to be paid to quote-unquote protect and serve. And as many of us who look around this crowd, we know that our children, our family members are not getting protected and served by the gangs in blue. So I encourage everybody, when you're wondering and you're wondering what you can do, think about our name, Direct Action for Rights and Equality. Organize, mobilize, and educate. Ray talked a few minutes ago about, you know, spreading it on, passing it on, educating our youth. I personally, when I saw the actions of last week and the protests, I was humbled, I was honored, and I was so proud. Whether it was gathering here and marching down Broad Street or the events that took place on 95, I was proud. Because I saw people who took a stand. I saw young people who mobilized themselves. Young people who had horrendous stories to tell, but were brave enough to put themselves on the line and bring it together. And they didn't. All they saw an injustice, and they knew they had to do something about it. They weren't looking at each other and saying, he dresses different than I. She's a different color than me. She's a different gender specification, a different ethnicity or religion. They saw an injustice, and they came together for a common goal. And if we look around this crowd, there's probably a few of us who may not be so young who should take note of that. We're honoring Mrs. Parks today. We're honoring Rosa Parks today. And in a way, it's sad that we really had to get this declared after her passing. She was honored in many ways before, but that's another thing that we can all do. When we're looking around and we're doing our work, honor each other, respect each other. Respect each other. We don't need to be fighting each other. We need to be fighting a system that's trying to bring us down. And we have no right to tell our young people what to do when we're fighting each other. So let's pull that up, pull those energies together, and get together for the common cause of it all. Thank you.